Well, to say it's been a minute since my last video is a bit of an understatement. But I'd just like to welcome you to the garden this year and wish you a happy new year, because this year, for the first time in the 10 years that I've had an allotment and been filming my allotment adventures, I'm actually going to be going it alone. And by that I mean, for the first time, I have got the whole space to myself. So yeah, there's going to be quite a lot of trepidation on my part, I think, because it's always nice to have someone to talk things through with. But yeah, if I make any mistakes, I've only got myself to blame. So hopefully this year you're going to be able to follow along with my adventures, and we're going to yeah, see what's what together. I'm so cold. And just to put the record straight, Mike and I have not gone our separate ways. He has just got his very own allotment on the same site as mine, over yonder. And if you have been following the channel for any period of time, you will know that he took that on last summer and has already made some huge improvements. So we will be visiting him this year as well and see how he's getting on. But for now, I can clearly say for the very first time, this is my very own growing garden. So if you're new to the channel, please consider giving it a like, giving it a subscribe, press the little notifications bell so you can tell when a video is uploaded. And yeah, let's talk about the year ahead. Speaking of the temperatures, we've actually had sub-zero temperatures for a period of, I think, at least a week, which is quite unusual in the UK compared to this time last year. So what that means is it almost feels like the snow and the ice and the frost have given me a blank canvas, if you like, which can be quite daunting to work on. But more than that, I am so thrilled, because it will mean that any nasties will hopefully have perished. Isn't that a horrible thing to say? Hopefully have perished in this cold weather. Because last winter, from what I can remember, it was fairly mild. It was damp. It led on to a damp, mild spring, and the pests were horrendous. Saying that though, I am desperately keen to get everything tidied away, for example. But I think this time of year, it is just so important, more so than ever when we're having -0 temperatures, to make sure that our garden friends have got places where they can rest, where they can hibernate. So although it's tempting to clear everything away, just consider, even if it's only a small corner of your garden, try not to clear it away too soon. One of the other things we can also do to help our little garden friends is make sure that we've got some flowers out at this time of year. I mean, I've got this poor little primrose here by the pond, and it's all that, sorry, that's the chickens. Although half of it looks completely dead, it's actually got a load of new buds on, so there will be something in flower for when the temperatures do start to warm up and our friendly insects come out of hibernation. Have a little think about, look around your garden, look around your growing space at the moment. Have you got anything that the bees and things could go to when they start waking up? We've got a little while yet, but if you've got anything in flower yet, let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to know. Oh, and would you just look at that rhubarb? I mean, sadly I'm going to be moving it again soon, but it's fairly hardy. Yeah, that's come up right through all the snow. The garlic is doing brilliantly, although still no sign of the cadors, which should be on that top row there. But maybe I put more compost on that bit, I don't know, but these are certainly doing brilliantly. And if you can see through the net there, you'll see that the kale is still going strong. I mean, we've taken regular pickings from this, and not just for us, but for the chickens as well. And yeah, if you haven't grown it before, try it. It's one of the best, hardiest winter vegetables you can grow. One of the things I did manage to get done before the new year, because I knew we had a cold snap coming up and that the ground would be solid, was get my Farmer Gracie selection of spring bulbs in. As ever with Farmer Gracie, I've had several packages from them over the years. I've never had their spring bulbs before, but if you just see the actual bulbs themselves, even though they should have been in at least a month or two ago, they're so solid. They're really well packed. You get the how-to guides. It's just always a real treat receiving one of these boxes. So although it's too late now to do spring bulbs, I would recommend that you get over there and look at the dahlias, because this is where I get my dahlias from, and this is why every year this patch here is just full of colour. Oh, sorry, bossy boots. Oh. Thank you, ladies. One of the things I did ask about, and being careful where I tread here, because again there are bulbs coming up already. I mean, this again, if you follow the channel, you will know each spring this is full of narcissi, grape hyacinth, the odd parrot tulip. It's just beautiful. It's a writer colour, snowdrops. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I've got to be really careful because I'm probably treading on them all now. But yes, towards the end of last year, I asked a series of questions as to what you thought I could do with different areas of the plot, and I really took the answers on board. I've been really grateful for the responses. But one of the things I asked was, what would you do with this area here? Because we have developed the plot from the front gate bit by bit, a bit at a time. And this area here, I've always laughably just said, is that a word? I don't know. Just sort of said, yeah, but this is the wild bit. And it's just been my excuse to leave it a bit wild. And so I have thought, shall we develop it a bit more? Shall we extend the chicken run? Etc, etc. I mean, you can see that's my swing, bless it. I didn't see it through the storm. We will revive it. Actually, it'd be really nice to have the swing here as well. But I am going to keep it as a wild area, but as some of you suggested, I'm going to develop it even more. So I'm not going to make it into a man-made wild area. I mean, it's fairly wild as it is. I've got my dead hedge because I've just got a hedge that's dead. I've got all sorts of things growing. But I might put a couple more native shrubs in here just to add a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more of a habitat. I have got the remains of the old chicken house I might do something with. But yeah, I think for the fact that everything my plot is about is trying to encourage wildlife, encourage nature, encourage diversity and biodiversity, I think I should leave it like it is. And that sounds like a terrible excuse, like I can't be bothered. But yeah, I'll be adding things in to make it more attractive to the wildlife around us. What do you think? What would you do? Do you think that's just an excuse? Yeah, I'm quite excited about it anyway. So yeah, we'll see. One of the other suggestions of yours that I took on board was to use this greenhouse here. Remember, I was talking about how low it is, and once the grapevine is in flower, fruit and leaf, it's difficult to walk in. So I'm going to be using this one as more of a storage area. I've actually gone and bought a couple of those cheap and cheerful shelving units, which are going to go here, I think. And I'll probably still use this side to plant directly into. Maybe that's where my hold on, that's the chilli grow. Okay, I might have that on that side, although I wasn't that impressed with it last year. And I'm probably the only one, but there you go. But yeah, so if I can store, even if I store some of the overwintering plants in here, this is going to have to be cleared, because this, as I've said before, is the engine room really of not necessarily where all the seeds start, but where the seedlings are potted on, etc. So yeah, It's going to have to be transformed fairly soon. But again, great suggestion. Thank you. A bit of reassurance, the only seed I am going to be planting this January, and to be honest it'll probably be February because I know what I'm like, is some chilli seeds from Steve from Digwell Green Fingers, because I was talking about the fact I grew so many chilies last year. Oh, Padron. I might do Padron again as well. And I think I got a free one in a magazine. But okay, my chilies are going to be the only things I'm going to be planting in January. I was talking to him about the fact with chilies, everyone goes on about them. I don't really like the heat. So he sent me a seed and he said it's known for its flavour rather than the heat. So I can't remember the name of it. Steve, if you're there, if you can pop it in the comments below. And if I remember, I'll try and put it up on the screen, but I'm quite looking forward to that. It's something new. And much as I say, every year I grow too much, and I grow too much of too much, if that makes sense. It's just really exciting, isn't it? And especially this year, because Mike is going to be doing, if you like, the bread and butter stuff on his plot. So he's going to be growing rows of potato. He's going to have the squash. He's going to grow loads of beans. And that is giving me the chance to be a little bit more experimental on this plot. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to trying some new things. I am going to be trying, hopefully, some ochre. I know Claire over at the Farmyard Garden, if you haven't seen her shed video, go and have a look. It's incredible. Yeah, she's offered me some, so that's something I've never tried before. I don't even know if I've eaten it before. But yeah, I've got the space in here and out here to be able to experiment with new things. So let me know, what would you like to see me growing on the plot? Again, if you've watched the channel for any period of time, you'll know we've pretty much tried most things. But let me know what you'd like me to try. But also let me know if you're trying anything new this year. Put it in the comments below and let's see if we can get a conversation going about what's growing and what's not. Oh, and just with regard to people sending seeds, a huge thanks once again to Sharon. Anyway, you know who you are. You sent me a whole load. I'll put your name on here. You sent me a whole load of tomato seeds, and I tried Honey Gold last year. Fantastic, but because they're F1 I couldn't save the seeds, so good old Sharon has not only sent me some Honey Gold but a whole other load of varieties I've never heard of. So there's going to be some fantastic new tomatoes coming up in the polytunnel as well. So anyway, it's getting dark. We're supposed to be having snow later on. Woohoo! So yeah, bit of a strange one, but welcome back. It's lovely to have you here. I'll see you all again very soon. Bye for now.